Miami Heat basketball with Deron Butler on Kendall Sports Network.
It's Saturday night, and you know what that means. It's Miami Heat basketball. I'm Deron Butler, welcoming you to another edition of Heat Zone Live, courtesy of Kendall Sports Network. The Miami Heat are back on the floor again after a tough loss against Portland 2 nights ago. This time they are in Salt Lake City to change a new tune as they take on the Utah Jazz. This should be a fun game between these two teams, but considering their status right now in the NBA, Miami currently 8th place in the Eastern Conference, Utah in 13th. There's not much bragging rights going on between these two teams, but I kind of see this going to be a very competitive, highly game matchup between these two. Miami right now, they're still relying on Bam Adebayo. They're still relying on Norman Powell, Kasper Ziakojunas. But I think Miami's gonna have their hands full going up against the likes of Jusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen, and Ace Bailey, who I believe is going to be a high scorer for the Jazz for years to come, if not a prominent all-star for them. So here are my 3 keys for tonight's game. Key number 1, get back to utilizing the defense. Miami's defense, while it had its moments against Portland, it just didn't do enough to stop the offense from Shadon Sharpe and Robert Williams III and Deni Avdija. Miami needs to get some key stops against Utah, a team that I know we don't see much of or hear about of because they're pretty low on the NBA totem pole. But defense is something that Miami needs to get back to. Key number 2, battle on the boards. This is going to be very huge for Miami. Miami needs to out-rebound Utah. They have not only Jusuf Nurkic, Lauri Markkanen, but they also have Walker Kessler, who can get rebounds as well. Not just on offense, but defense as well. So Miami not only needs to utilize the defense and get rebounds, but key number 3 is being able to get to the free throw line often and consistent. Yeah. I think if you put Utah in foul trouble early, that can help boost Miami's offense. I know Miami has been letting it fly a lot, especially with Simone Fontecchio coming off the bench, knocking down 3-pointers and averaging 13 points a game. If Miami can manage to get to the free throw line, that will also help them generate their offense a bit more. So this should be a very competitive game between these two teams, and we will have a starting lineup and opening tip-off very soon. If you guys have any questions or comments regarding the NBA, Miami Heat basketball, or any trade rumors that have been popping up as of late, feel free to drop a comment or leave a question and I'll answer it for you. And we are back. Here's a look at the injury report. The Heat are without Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, Kel'el Ware, and Tyler Hero. So it looks like Miami's going to have a smaller lineup than usual, and going to have to rely on more of their bench. So already, Miami's already at a detriment, I should say, or rather disadvantage. But never say never, and Miami always has that next man up mentality. The Heat right now working through some various injuries to their players. And here's a look at our starting lineup. For the Miami Heat, we have Kasper Jakajunas. Okay, Norman Powell is starting. Thought he was going to be out for tonight's game. Andrew Wiggins, Pelle Larsson, and Bam Adebayo. And for the Utah Jazz, we have Jusuf Nurkic, Cody Williams, Ace Bailey, Ski Mikulik, and Keontae George. That is the starting lineups for both the Miami Heat and the Utah Jazz. Alright, both teams are warming up. They're getting themselves psyched up, ready for tonight's game. The key matchup I'm going to be looking forward to is the battle of the big men between Jusuf Nurkic and Bam Adebayo. That's the key matchup I'm going to be looking forward to. I know another battle would be Norman Powell against Ace Bailey, but I want to see what Bam can do against Jusuf Nurkic again. Alright, so we should have opening tip-off very soon. There you see Keontae George, the Utah Jazz. Very solid point guard indeed. Okay, we're ready for tip-off. And Utah wins the tip-off. So here we go for tonight's game. Keontae George kicks it out to Mikulik. Jusuf Nurkic, and he gets the hook over Bam Adebayo to get Utah on the board. All right, here comes Jakajunas being guarded by Keontae George. Kicks it out to Larsson. Larsson finds Powell, and Powell comes up with a miss. Rebound by Utah. Here comes Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic gives it to Ace Bailey. Ace Bailey fires and knocks it down. Already Utah with a 4-point lead. Here comes Larsson. Jakajunas going for a three. That rims out. Rebound by Larsson, and he puts it back in to put Miami on the board. Alright, here comes Keontae George, guarded by Kasper Jakajunas. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by by Miami. It'll be Jazz ball. Alright, Utah will have it side out. And give it to Ace Bailey for the easy layup. Alright, here comes Kasper Jakajunas. He gives it to Bam. Bam finds Larsson again, and Larsson gets the layup. Alright, and here comes Keontae George. George flying in. He gets fouled. That's gonna be on Pelle Larsson. So it'll be side out for Utah. Alright, here comes Keontae George, guarded by Wiggins. Nurkic setting the screen. And that's going to be another foul on Miami. This one's going to be on Bam. All right, Utah will have a side out again. Almost all in the way, but it'll be still Utah ball. Davion Mitchell is out with a left shoulder injury. And of course, Lauri Markkanen, who I mentioned before, he is out tonight with a injury, as well as Walker Kessler. So both teams are without their key players. And there's Norman Powell with a rebound. Norman Powell finding Kasper Ziakajunas, gets his shot blocked, and here comes Utah. Ace Bailey finds Nurkic. Nurkic finds Keontae George, and he gets the layup and will go for the and one. Keontae George getting a nice layup over Pelle Larsson. But that was a nice block from Cody Williams that started that fast break for Utah. Jaime Jaquez Jr. now entering the game for Miami, replacing Pelle Larsson. Keontae George at the line for Utah. And he knocks down the and one. The Jazz lead by 5 in this game. Right, here comes Jaquez. Finds Powell. Back to Jaquez. Back to Powell. Powell for 3. Misses it. Rebound by Kasper Ziakajunas. Kicks it out to Wiggins. Wiggins loses the ball, and here comes Utah again. That's going to be a foul, and that will send Utah to the line for 2 free throws. Miami's offense looking very sloppy right now. Utah having their way on defense. So Steve Mikelic will go to the line for 2 free throws. He knocks down the first free throw. And he makes both free throws. So Utah now has a 7-point lead. All right, here comes Miami. Jaquez has it. Jaquez kicks, loses the ball, and here comes Utah again. Here comes Nurkic. Kicks it out to Keontae George for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. But that's going to be a foul on Utah as well. So far, Miami shooting 2 for 6 from the field. Utah gone 4 for 6. Utah almost came up with that steal. Here comes Norman Powell. Powell driving through. Almost lost the ball. Here's Wiggins for 3, and he knocks it down. Andrew Chief Wiggins 3 for Miami. And here comes Jusuf Nurkic, guarded by Bam. Easily gives it to Cody Williams, and that's going to be another basket for Utah. Here comes Bam off the baseline, and he gets the basket. Nope, gets his own rebound, gets the basket. Was looking for the and one, but doesn't get it. But the Utah Jazz will call a timeout. Utah has the early lead right now over Miami, as they lead 13-9. And we are back. Score is 13-9 Utah. The Jazz so far have been hitting their baskets, getting uncontested layups against Miami's defense. Miami, meanwhile, they've been kind of struggling on both ends of the floor, but baskets have been few and far for them. Baskets have been few and far for the Heat. So let's see what they can do to get back on track. Utah will inbound the ball. They give it to Ski Mikelic. That's a 3 on the way for Utah. That rims out. Rebound by Wiggins. All right, Wiggins gives it to Norman Powell. Here comes Powell. Loses the ball, but gives it to Bam. Bam for 3. And Bam Adebayo knocks down the 3. And the Heat are within 1. Alright, and here comes Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic guarded by Bam. Gives it to Keontae George. Back to Nurkic. That's a corner 3 from Utah. And they missed that one. But Ski Mikelic is there for the putback. The Jazz lead by 3 in this game. Here comes Hawkes. Gives it to Wiggins. Wiggins with the uncontested dunk, and the Heat are back within 1 again. All right, here comes Keontae George bringing it up to the floor for Utah. Gives it to Jusuf Nurkic. Here comes Ace Bailey. And he knocks down the uncontested jumper. Utah leads by 3 in this game. All right, here comes Kasparas Jakujonas. Miami swinging the ball around. Here comes Norman Powell. Flies through and gets the layup. And Miami's back within 1 again. All right, here comes Keontae George. George guarded by Wiggins. Another miss for Utah, and here comes Miami. Hawkes. Missing the layup, but Bam is there for the putback to put Miami out in front for the first time. Bam right now with 7 points, shooting 75% from the field. And Miami comes up with that steal, and here comes Hawkes. Hawkes finds Norman Powell. Rims out, rebound by Wiggins. Powell now has it. Driving into the lane. Gives it to Jakujonas for 3. And Kasparas, the friendly ghost Jakujonas, 3 for Miami. As the Heat now go up by 4. Miami right now on a 7-0 run. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going. Bam comes up with the rebound. And it's nice steal. And here comes Utah with a nice solid play. Uncontested basket by Jusuf Nurkic. Here comes Tommy Hawkes Jr. flying in. He gets the foul and will go to the line for the and 1. Nice hustle play by Hawkes to get to the lane and get the and 1 opportunity. Just like what I said from earlier, Miami needs to get to the free throw line just to get themselves a boost on offense. And Hawkes makes the and 1. All right, here comes Utah now. Miami on a 10-2 run. Jusuf Nurkic kicks it out to Keontae George. Ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Heat. It'll be Jazz ball. All right. Here comes Keontae George. Missing that corner 3. Rebound by Miami. Hawkes pushes it up to Wiggins. Wiggins missing that layup. And here comes Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic now has it. And Utah's there to get the layup. Yusuf Nurkic right now with 4 points and 5 assists in this game. And that's going to be a foul on Utah. I think that's going to be on Keontae George. That will send... I think that will send Norman Powell to the line for 2 free throws. Powell knocks down the first free throw. And Powell knocks down both free throws. So the Heat lead by 5 in this game. Alright, here comes Utah. They missed the basket. Rebound by Hawkins. Here comes Hawkins. Kicks it out to Norman Powell. 3. That rims out. Rebound by Kasper Siakajunas. Here comes Powell. Powell kicks it out. That's a missed 3. And here comes Utah. Easy find for the Jazz, and that's going to be another basket in the paint by former Heat player Kyle Anderson. Infectious with the slow-mo that guy is. And that's going to be a foul on Utah. That will send Nikola Jovic to the line for 2 free throws. Nikola Jovic missing the first free throw. Simone Fontecchio enters the game for Miami, as does Drew Smith. They replace Kasper Siakajunas and Andrew Wiggins. Norman Powell also comes out of the game for Miami. So right now, Jovic makes 1 of 2 from the line. So the Heat now have a 4-point lead. All right, here comes Utah. Yeah, the flying in. Missed the basket. Here comes Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio gives it to Hawkins. Hawkins loses the ball, and here comes Isaiah Collier and the Utah Jazz. Kyle Anderson kicks it out to a teammate. That rims out. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Fontecchio. Fontecchio gives it to Jovic. Jovic driving into the lane, and that's an air ball. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be last touched by Miami. Simone Fontecchio doesn't seem to think so, but it's going to be Jazz ball, and we're going to have ourselves a timeout. So far, it's been a back and forth game with Miami leading 27-23. And we are back. Score is 27-23, Miami. The Heat right now, Heat have came back into this game off of a 10-2 run, but let's see if they can continue that momentum. Right, there's a referee's decision being made. It looked like the ball was last touched by Utah. Looked like Kyle Anderson. Yeah, Kyle Anderson was the one who last touched it. So it'll be Heat ball instead. Alright, Miami has the ball. They're swinging it around. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez loses the ball. And here comes Utah on a fast break. And Keontae George taking off like Soul Train with that dunk. As Utah within 2. Here comes Bam. Bam with the pump fake. Kicks it out to Drew Smith. Smith to Jovic for 3. That rims out. Jaquez with the rebound and the putback. And that puts Miami up by 4 again. Alright, here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Kyle Anderson. Anderson finds Keontae George. Bryce Sensabaugh, here he comes. Gets fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bryce Sensabaugh was about to put somebody on a poster. But instead, he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bryce Sensabaugh makes the first free throw. And Bryce Sensabaugh makes both free throws. Alright, here comes Jaquez. Gives it to Fontecchio. Miami swinging the ball around. They give it to Bam. Bam backing him down. Bam gets fouled. No, he gets the basket but doesn't get the foul. Alright, here comes Kyle Anderson. Gives it to Bryce Sensabaugh. Here comes Keontae George. He loses the ball now. And here comes Miami on a fast break. And that will send Nikola Jovic to the line for 2 free throws. Foul's going to be on Bryce Sensabaugh. Nice heads-up play on defense for Miami to find Nikola Jovic in a hot streak. Jovic makes the first free throw, and that gives Miami a 5-point lead. And Nikola Jovic makes both free throws. Miami leads by 6 in this game. Alright, here comes Isaiah Collier, directing traffic for Utah. Gives it to Kyle Anderson. Anderson, guarded by Jovic. Out to Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh with a spin. And he gets the basket. Utah trails by 4 in this game. Here comes Jaquez. Gives it to Bam. Bam drives it to the lane, gets fouled, and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, Bam Adebayo goes to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first one. And Bam makes both free throws. So right now the Heat have a 6-point lead. Miami comes up with another steal. Here comes Jovic. Finds Fontecchio for 3. That rims out. Here comes Utah on another fast break. Isaiah Collier gets the dunk, and that will bring Utah within 4. Here comes Bam for 3. That's an air ball, and that's going to be Jazz ball. Alright, here comes Isaiah Collier. That's a 3 for Utah, and they knock down the triple. So Utah are now within 1. Here comes Bam. Bam gives it to Hawkes. Hawkes gives it to Drew Smith. Back to Hawkes. Hawkes driving into the lane, kicks it out to Bam for 3. That's a missed shot. Miami recovers the ball. Miami been getting after it on the rebounding end, but ball is going back to Utah, and that will end the first quarter. It's been a back and forth game between these two teams, and the tempo has been very high in this one. Both teams have been showing up and showing out on not just fast breaks, but also defense and rebounding. At the end of the first quarter, Miami leads 35-34. We'll be back for the second quarter. And we are back. Score is 35-34 Miami. The second quarter is about to start very soon. And so far, it's been a close game between these two teams. Lots of fast breaks, rebounding, defense. So let's see what the second quarter has in store. All right, Miami has the ball. Here comes Drew Smith. Smith finds Fontecchio. Gives it to Jovic. Back to Fontecchio again. Here comes Bam. Bam finds Jovic. Myron Gardner now in the game. Jovic for 3. And Nikola Jovic 3 from Miami. Love that for him. The Heat goes up by 4. Nikola Jovic right now with 6 points, shooting 33% from behind the arc. All right, right now, here comes Utah. Isaiah Collier loses the ball, and here comes Miami. Looking to go on a fast break. Myron Gardner loses the ball, but he gets fouled. So that will send Myron Gardner to the line for 2 free throws. Nice heads up play by Drew Smith to come up with that steal. And of course, the Heat try to go fast right now against Utah. Myron Gardner getting fouled by Bryce Sensabaugh. He misses that first free throw. And he misses both free throws, but gets the rebound thanks to Bam. Here comes Fontecchio for 3. That rims out and is rebound by Utah. All right, Utah swinging the ball around. I think that's going to be a foul on Miami. Okay, 3. I think that's going to be a defensive 3 and a key on Miami. Utah missing that technical free throw. So Utah will have it side out. All right, here comes Utah. Corner 3 on the way. That's an air ball, and here comes Miami. Myron Gardner bringing it up to the floor. Finds Bam. Gives it to Fontecchio. Fontecchio to Jovic. Jovic comes up with a lost ball, but it's recovered by Utah. Utah going for the alley-oop, but they miss. Isaiah Collier being guarded by Myron Gardner, and that's going to be a foul on Miami. So far right now, both teams have been giving us a lot of speed, but no points. Pelle Larsson now entering the game for Miami. He replaces Nikola Jovic. Alright, here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Bryce Sensabaugh, but Drew Smith comes up with a steal. The fast break, blocked by Walter Clayton Jr. Here comes Utah. Walter Clayton Jr. passing the ball around. That's a 3 on the way for Utah. That rims out. And here comes Drew Smith again. Simone Fontecchio for 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. And Miami go up by 7 in this game. And that's going to be a defensive foul. Yeah, that's going to be a defensive foul on Miami. That one's going to be on Drew Smith. All right, Utah will have it side out. And Isaiah Collier gets the layup. He was looking for the foul, but doesn't get it. Utah within 5. Drew Smith for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. Back to Drew Smith. And Utah almost came away with that steal, but recovered by Miami. And another steal for Utah. And this one's going to be a foul on Myron Gardner. He was looking for the jump ball, but looks like we almost got ourselves a little shoving match between him and Kyle Anderson. Myron Gardner getting tangled up with Bryce Sensabaugh. definitely going to be 2 free throws, I believe, for Utah. But there's going to be an official review to see if that was a foul or not. Right now, the score is 41-36 Miami. So, let's see what happens. If you guys still have any questions or comments regarding the Miami Heat, this whole NBA season, or even upcoming trade rumors that we've been hearing about, whether it's Jonathan Kuminga, Ja Morant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, feel free to drop some comments or questions regarding that, and I'll be there to answer it for you. So it appears that the ball was last touched by Miami. It will be Utah's ball. So Bryce Sensabaugh will go to the line for 2 free throws. Right. Sensabaugh knocks down the first free throw. And Bryce Sensabaugh makes both free throws. Utah within 3 right now. Here comes Miami. Pelle Larsson gets fouled, and he will go to the line for the and 1. A tit for tat for the Miami Heat. That foul's going to be on Ace Bailey. Nice heads-up play to find Larsson heading to the basket. Larsson right now with 6 points in this game. And Larsson will knock down the and 1 opportunity. And that will put Miami up by 6. Miami right now are 9 for 12 from the free throw line. Utah are 7 of 8 from the charity stripe. And that's a missed 3 for the Jazz. And here comes Miami. Myron Gardner gives it a Bam. To Gardner for 3. That's a miss. Rebound by Drew Smith. Here comes Smith flying into the lane. Comes up with another rebound for Miami. Fontecchio gives it out to Drew Smith, corner 3. That's a miss. Here comes Myron Gardner. Swings the ball out, gives it to Larsson. Long pass. Here comes Drew Smith. And he flies in for the layup. And the Heat now up by 8. And here comes Isaiah Collier. Collier gets to Walter Clayton Jr. That's a long 3. And that one goes in off the rim, and that will give Utah within 5. Here comes a 3 from Simone Fontecchio. That rims out. Rebound by Bam. Here goes Myron Gardner. Gives it to Fontecchio again for a 3. That's off the backboard. Fontecchio's in trouble, but finds Larsson. Larsson with the pump fake. Goes right in. And he will go to the line for 2 free throws. So far, both teams have been putting up some bricks. I mean, we had some moments from both teams on offense, but it's been here and there so far. Pelle Larsson knocks down the first free throw. Yusuf Nurkic now re-entering the game for Utah. And Andrew Wiggins is entering the game for Miami. Simone Fontecchio will take a seat on the bench for Miami. Ace Bailey will do the same for Utah. Miami so far, they've been excelling in the rebounding department, getting 17 offensive rebounds to Utah's 1. And Miami comes up with both free throws. That gives them a 7-point lead. Walter Clayton Jr. now gives it to Nurkic, and he gets the basket. And Utah within 5 right now. Here comes Jaquez. Jaquez backing out Walter Clayton Jr. Here comes Wiggins. To Norman Powell for 3. That rims out. Rebound by Jovic. Here comes Wiggins for corner 3. And that rims out as well. And that's going to be I believe that's going to be a foul on Utah. That should be a foul on Utah. Let's watch again. Yeah, that foul is on Walter Clayton Jr. So that should send Andrew Wiggins to the line for 3 free throws. And we will have ourselves a timeout with Miami leading 48-43. And we are back. Score is 48-43. And it's been 20 years since Miami won its first NBA championship. And that championship team will be honored on February the 3rd when the Heat hosts the Atlanta Hawks. So far in this game right now for Miami, they've been hustling on the offensive rebounding department as well as defense. But offense hasn't been so smooth. I mean, the only thing we've been doing so far is free throws and second chance points. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it does help get some offensive boost. Not to mention, Miami's been making some extra passes to get everybody involved in this game. So right now, it's still a 5-point lead for Miami. So we should see. Well, I thought Andrew Wiggins was going to be at the line for 2 free throws, but 3 free throws. But instead, see what the referee has to say. Alright, so it'll be heat ball, but I'm sorry, it's gonna be a jump ball, but no free throws for Miami. And Miami now with 18 offensive rebounds in the first half. A franchise record for them. And there's a layup from Nikola Jovic, and that puts Miami up by 7. Here comes Nurkic. Gives it to Keontae George. Here comes Nurkic. Nurkic loses the ball, but that ball is last touched by Miami. Nurkic will go to the line for 2 free throws, I believe. All right. Nurkic missing the first free throw. And Nurkic missing both free throws. And now here comes Miami. Wiggins passes it out to Hawkes. Hawkes driving into the lane, and he gets the basket. Alright, and here comes Keontae George. Finds Ski Mikelic. Nurkic almost lost the ball. Now he's being double teamed. And Miami comes away with the steal. And here comes the fast break. Nikola Jovic gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. So far, Miami's defense and rebounding has been the stars of this game so far. Nikola Jovic missing that first free throw. And Nikola Jovic going 1 of 2 from the line. Miami now leads by 10. Here comes Keontae George. Gives it to Walter Clayton Jr. Walter Clayton Jr. guarded by Jovic. Gives it to Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic with a spin. Misses the layup. Miami recovers the rebound, and here comes Simone Fontecchio. Fontecchio falls down. And that one's going to go right out of bounds. It's going to be heat ball. Jusuf Nurkic couldn't get to the basket in time. Alright, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes with a spin. Hawkes in the lane. Gives it to Norman Powell. Norman Powell with a step back, and he gets the basket. Miami now leads by 12 in this game as they go on a 14-5 run. Norman Powell so far with 6 points, going 2 of 7 from the field. And another loss, and another loose ball on Utah. Miami right now, they are benefiting from Utah's turnovers. All right, here comes Pelle Larsson. Larsson gives it a foul. Powell finds Jovic, and Nikola Jovic getting the basket. Love that for him. Miami now leads by 14 as they go on a 16-5 run. Here comes Ski Mikelic. Gives it to Keontae George. To Jusuf Nurkic, and that ball rims out. Here comes Miami. Jovic losing the ball, but he gets fouled. I think this one's going to be on Yusuf Nurkic. So here it is again. I'm sorry, it's going to be Utah ball. Now, ball was last touched by Miami instead. Keontae George. I think that's going to be a foul on Miami. Keontae George missing the first free throw. And Keontae George goes 1 of 2 from the line. Alright, here comes Hawkes. Hawkes with a spin. Kicks it out to Nikola Jovic, corner 3, uncontested. And that rims out. Here comes Utah. A 3 from Utah. That rims out. And that's going to go out of bounds on Yusuf Nurkic, so it'll be Heat ball. Alright, here comes Norman Powell. He gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. The more foul trouble Utah are in, the more that will help Miami's offense on the free throw line. Norman Powell makes the first free throw. And here comes Ace Bailey back in the game for Utah. He replaces Walter Clayton Jr. And Norman Powell makes both free throws. So right now Miami has a 15-point lead. Alright, here comes Keontae George, guarded by Hawkes, gives it to Ace Bailey. Bailey guarded by Hawkes. Here comes Ace Bailey. The turnaround jumper, he misses it. Rebound by Norman Powell. Here comes Norman Powell, gets fouled, and he will return back to the line for 2 more free throws. But instead, we will have a timeout from Miami. The Heat are in control of this one as they lead 59-44. And we are back. Score is 59-44. Miami right now are in control in this game. And thanks to their defense and offensive rebounding, as well as being able to get to the free throw line, the Heat are benefiting from those three components right now against Utah. Also while thriving off their turnovers. So right now Norman Powell is at the line for Miami. He misses the first free throw. And he goes 1 of 2 from the line. So Miami leads by 16 in this game. Alright, here comes Jusuf Nurkic. Filipowski almost lost the ball. And that's a basket for Utah. Keontae George making that basket. And here comes Miami. Keontae George in this game has 8 points, going 3 of 9 from the field. Pump fake, gives it to Bam, and Bam with the jam. As Miami goes up 62-46. Bam right now with 13 points, going 5 of 8 from the field. And Utah answers back with the ace. And I'm not talking about Candace Parker. Ace Bailey with that dunk. Alright, here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. gives it to Norman Powell. Bam setting the screen. Bam gets the loose ball. Kicks it out. And that's a 3 for Pelle Larsson. 3 for Miami. Alright, here comes Keontae George. Keontae George for 3. Misses the basket. Rebound by Jusuf Nurkic. Gives it to Keontae. Oh, sorry, I thought that was Keontae George, but that was Cody Williams with the dunk. Alright, Miami swinging the ball around. And that's a corner 3 for Chief Andrew Wiggins. 3 for Miami. Wiggins right now with 8 points, shooting 66% from three-point land. And there's Keontae George getting the basket. Nice assist from Jusuf Nurkic. Keontae George right now with 10 points in this game, going 4 from 11 from the field. All right, and here comes Miami. Andrew Wiggins flying into the lane, gets fouled, and will go to the line for 2 free throws. Andrew Wiggins makes the first free throw, and Ace Bailey will come out of the game for Utah. And Andrew Wiggins makes both free throws. Right now, the Heat are leading by 18 in this game. Keontae George missing yet again for Utah. Here comes Norman Powell. Norman Powell driving into the lane. Gives it to Fontecchio. Miami swinging that ball around to give it back to Powell. Powell flies in for the layup, but he gets fouled, and he will go to the line once again for 2 free throws. All right, here comes Norman Powell at the line for 2 free throws. He misses the first free throw. Drew Smith now returning back to the game for Miami. He replaces Kasper Yakajunas. And Norman Powell goes 1 of 2 from the line. And that was almost a steal from Andrew Wiggins, but that goes out of bounds. All right, here comes Keontae George, guarded by Drew Smith. And it's stolen away by Wiggins. Here comes Drew Smith. Wiggins is there for the putback. And now Miami leads by 21 in this game. And that's going to end the first half with Miami ahead by 21 points against Utah. So far, Miami's offense starting to find itself after a rough stretch early in the game. But but the Heat are starting to come back. The Heat are alive and well in this one. They are showing their dominance on both ends of the floor. Miami leads 73-52. So far in this first half, Miami's defense, along with its rebounding and free throws, have helped build this lead for Miami. Meanwhile, Utah, they've been turning the ball over a lot. So I think that's another factor that's been helping the Miami Heat get back into this game, as well as build this 21-point lead. Not to mention the couple of runs that the Heat had late in the first quarter and even in the second quarter. So far it's been a solid effort for Miami. So let's see what they can do in the third and fourth quarter. So right now it's halftime. If you have any questions or comments regarding not just the Miami Heat or the entire NBA season, or if your favorite team right now is struggling or they're thriving, or even the trade rumors that's been going on with Ja Morant, Jonathan Kuminga, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, feel free to leave a question or a comment, and I'll get back to you and answer it for you. So right now it's halftime. I'm gonna go get me something to drink, and I'll be ready for the second half. And we are back. Score is 73-52, Miami. So far in this game, it's been nothing but easy buckets, fast break points, a lot of good defensive play from Miami, as well as getting some offensive rebounds. Miami had 18 in the first half, a new franchise record for them. And so far in this game, Bam Adebayo, Pelle Larsson, Andrew Wiggins, Nikola Jovic, and Norman Powell are all in double-digit figures for Miami. Meanwhile, the only player in double digits for Utah is Keyonte George. And we begin the third quarter. Bam kicks it out to Pelle Larsson, gives it to Powell, back to Bam. Bam being guarded by Jusuf Nurkic. And that's going to be a foul on Nurkic. So far, Utah have been in foul trouble during the first half, which led to Miami gaining some baskets. I'm sorry, it's going to be a jump ball between Bam and Jusuf Nurkic. All right, Miami wins the tip. Pelle Larsson has it out to Bam. Goes right out of bounds, and it's going to be Utah ball. All right, here comes Keyonte George. George gives it to Nurkic. Nurkic gives it back to George, and he gets the basket. Keyonte George now with 12 points in this game. Bam gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Foul was on Jusuf Nurkic this time. I'm sorry, Miami will have it side out instead. Here comes Norman Powell. Powell gives it to Bam. Wiggins for 3. That rims out. And that one's going to go right out of bounds, so it will be Jazz ball. Here comes Keyonte George. Gives it to Ski Makilik. Keyonte George gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. It's going to be side out for Utah as Ace Bailey flies in for the dunk. All right, here comes Pelle Larsson for 3. That rims out. And here comes Utah. And that one's going to be out of bounds on the Jazz, so it will be Heat ball. So Miami will have a side out. Kasper Siakam has the ball. Drives in, gets fouled, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Kasper Siakam makes the first free throw. And Siakam makes both free throws. So right now it is a 19-point game for Miami. And here comes Ace Bailey again with the dunk. So it's now a 18-point game. Another block from Utah. And here come the Jazz right now. Nurkic gets a layup, and that's going to prompt a timeout for Erik Spoelstra. He is not liking what he's seeing from Miami right now. The Heat may have the lead, but we've seen this story far too often with them, as Utah looks to be on a roll. The Heat lead 75-60. And we are back. Score is 75-60. Miami has the lead so far. But right now, the Jazz are starting to make a comeback. Here comes Powell. Another broken up play by Utah. And I think somebody from Utah Cody Williams got fouled. That's going to be on Wiggins. All right, here comes Cody Williams. Sorry, Keontae George has the ball. Gives it to Yusuf Nurkic. Finds Ace Bailey. Bailey misses that one. And here comes Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Kicks it out to Kasparas Jakajunas. Kasparas, the friendly ghost Jakajunas, 3 for Miami. And here comes Ski Mikhelik, and he knocks it down for Utah. And Kasparas Jakajunas again for Miami. He just flew in like no one's business. Jakajunas now with 10 points, shooting 60% from the field. And the ball is knocked loose, and I think it's going to go right back with Utah. It's still going to be Utah ball. All right, and here comes Yusuf Nurkic. Utah swinging that ball around. Mikhelik comes up with a miss, and here comes Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins gets his shot blocked, and that one's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Utah. All right, and here comes Miami. Norman Powell gets fouled, and he will be sent to the line for 2 free throws. That's going to be 2 free throws for Miami. So that's going to be side out for Miami. Here comes Norman Powell. Finds Pelle Larsson. Larsson driving in. Gets his shot blocked. Kicks it out to Bam. Corner 3. Rims out. No, that's an air ball, and that's going to be a 24-second violation on Miami. So it'll be Utah ball. Miami right now with 11 turnovers to Utah's 9. Utah right now with 53, shooting 53 points, 53% from the field. Miami only 41. And Miami is shining the brightest in the offensive rebounding department. It's 20 boards to Utah's 2. And that's a missed 3 from Pelle Larsson. Here comes Ace Bailey flying in. Rebound by Kasper Siakajunas. Here comes Norman Powell. Finds Wiggins for corner 3. That rims out. Rebound by Utah. And once again, Ace Bailey got hit in the face. Alright, and here comes Keontae George. Finds Nurkic, and he gets the layup. Jusuf Nurkic now with 10 points, going 5 of 8 from the field. And there's Norman Powell with the basket of his own. Miami now leading 82 to 64. Norman Powell so far with 12 points, shooting 30% from the field. And there's Ace Bailey missing that corner 3, almost uncontested. Bam Adebayo bringing it up to the floor. Here comes Bam. Missing that basket. Rebound by Utah. Steve McKeelis coming through. And he gets the layup. Right now, here comes Wiggins. Wiggins. Gives it to Norman Powell. Miami recovers the ball. Kasper Siakajunas flying in. And he gets the basket. Kasper Siakajunas looking good so far in the third quarter. Alright, and here comes Keontae George. Gives it to Jusuf Nurkic. Nurkic backing down Bam. But somehow gets the basket over Bam. Alright, here comes Miami. Jusuf Nurkic so far with 12 points, going 6 for 9 from the field. And that's a 3 from Bam Bam Adebayo. The beast of South Beach hitting that one. He has 16 points, shooting 40% from three-point land. Alright, here comes Keontae George. He flies in, gets his shot blocked, and here comes Miami. Here comes Andrew Wiggins. Kicks it out to Pelle Larsson for 3. And Pelle Larsson knocking down that 3. And that's going to prompt a Utah Jazz timeout. Right now, Miami's getting that string music to play. And it's been playing beautifully from behind the arc. Thanks to Bam and Pelle Larsson. Not to mention some layups from Casper Siakajunas and Norman Powell. Miami right now, they're playing all the right notes against Utah as they lead 90-68. And we are back. Score is 90-68. Miami has a very strong lead so far in this game. Alright, and here comes Keyonte George. He flies in, and he gets the layup. Utah trails by 20 in this game. Here comes Jaime Jaquez Jr. Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins gets the layup. And right now we have ourselves a 22-point game. Here comes Filipowski. Gets the basket for Utah. Alright, here comes Jaquez. Jaquez finds Wiggins. Wiggins kicks it out. Miami pushing the ball. And Norman Powell will go to the line for, I believe, 2 free throws. Either 2 or 3, I'm not sure, because he was behind the arc. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 2 free throws, because it looks like his foot hit. Yeah, because his foot was on the line. Right. Norman Powell knocks down the first free throw, and Casper Siakajunas will come out of the game for Miami. And Norman Powell goes 1 of 2 from the line. Here comes Utah. Keyonte George has the ball. Gives it to Filipowski. Back to Keyonte George. There's a 3 on the way, and Utah knocks it down. Bryce Sensabaugh hitting that 3 for Utah. Sensabaugh right now with 12 points, going 2 for 2 from 3-point land. As Miami comes up with that miss, and here comes Utah. Isaiah Collier swerves his way into the basket. Isaiah Collier now with 6 points, shooting 60% from the field. All right, and here comes a 3 on the way from Nikola Jovic, 3 for Miami. Love that for him. Miami right now have a 19-point lead. And there's Keontae George for 3. He misses it. Rebound by Jaime Jaquez Jr. Jaquez finds Wiggins. Back to Norman Powell. Here comes Nikola Jovic flying into the lane. Ball's knocked loose, and here comes Utah. And Isaiah Collier again for Utah, getting that layup. All right, here comes Miami. Jaquez backing him down, missing that basket. Rebound by Utah. Here comes Filipowski. And Filipowski gets the basket. All right, here comes Miami. Norman Powell now directing traffic. Finds Wiggins for the uncontested basket. Nice heads-up play. Very solid play for Miami. And that will lead Wiggins to the free throw line for the and one. Nice assist from Norman Powell. Great court vision, by the way. And Norman Powell will come out of the game for Miami. And Andrew Wiggins knocks down the and one. Here comes Isaiah Collier. Kyle Anderson has the ball, loses it, and here comes Miami on a fast break. Jaquez lobs it up to Jovic, and that's a sweet play for Miami. The Heat now go up by 20 in this game. Nikola Jovic with 16 points, shooting 50% from the field. And here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Bryce Sensabaugh for 3. And Sensabaugh knocks it down. All right, here comes Miami. Wiggins gives it to Jaquez. Here comes Jaquez. Simone Fontecchio for 3. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio. 3. Mwah. And the Heat are back up by 20. Simone Fontecchio now with 6 points, shooting 33% from 3-point land. And that's another 3 for Utah. Bryce Sensabaugh again with 18 points, going 4 for 4 from 3-point land. He hasn't missed a shot from that area. And there's Jaquez, another solid play from Miami. Uncontested layup and everything. Jaquez now with 9 points, going 4 for 9 from the field. And here comes Filipowski, almost stolen away, but here comes Keontae George. It looks like a Utah player might be down. He might be hurt. Nice defensive sequence from Miami to get that nice alley-oop to Jovic. Hopefully Filipowski is fine, but Keontae George will go to the line for 2 free throws. He makes the first free throw. Myron Gardner now in the game for Miami. Keontae George makes both free throws. Ball goes sailing out of bounds. A very bad pass from Nikola Jovic, trying to find Jaime Jaquez Jr., but instead it will be Utah ball. Utah coming out with that miss. Another miss for Utah. Here comes Miami. Simone Fontecchio breaks free, and he gets a fast break layup. Alright, here comes Utah. Bryce Sensabaugh with a crossover. The step back, the fadeaway, misses it. Rebound by Miami. Drew Smith now has the ball. Gives it to Jovic. Here comes Jovic. Kicks it off to Fontecchio for three. And that's going to end the third quarter. Miami are on a roll, and they got hot at the right moment. I mean, despite Utah trying to make this an interesting game, the Heat still maintain that lead, as they are up 108 to 89. We'll be back for the fourth quarter. He's And we are back. Score is 108 to 89 Miami. So far in this fourth quarter, Miami's defense, free throw shooting, especially the rebounding on offense, has helped them a great deal. Right now, Utah has the ball, and we begin the fourth quarter. Here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Nurkic. Because Walter Clayton Jr. flying in. And that's going to be a foul on Miami. Byron Gardner doesn't believe that was going to be a foul. He wants a challenge, but I don't think that's going to happen. So Walter Clayton Jr. will go to the line for 2 free throws. Walter Clayton Jr. knocks down the first free throw. Walter Clayton Jr. makes both free throws. So Utah are within 17. Here comes Drew Smith. He finds Fontecchio. Back to Drew Smith. Nikola Jovic for three. That rims out. Rebound by Utah. And here comes Isaiah Collier. He gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Isaiah Collier missing the first free throw for Utah. And Isaiah Collier goes 1 of 2 from the line for Utah. Alright, here comes Bam. Bam finds Drew Smith. Drew Smith almost lost the ball. Gives it to Bam. That rims out. Rebound by Utah. Bryce Sensabaugh gets his shot blocked. And stolen away by somebody Fontecchio. Here comes Miami now. Bam on the fast break gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. That foul is going to be on Jusuf Nurkic. Bam making the first free throw. And Pelle Larsson now enters the game for Miami, replacing Myron Gardner. Bam right now with a double-double of 17 points and 11 rebounds. Make it 18 points and 11 rebounds. Bam knocking down that second free throw. Alright, here comes Utah. Walter Clayton Jr. missing that 3. Here comes Drew Smith. Finds Jovic. Jovic finding Bam. Bam missing that layup. Another layup missed. And here comes Utah. Isaiah Collier finds Walter Clayton Jr. Back to Jusuf Nurkic knocking down the 3. Alright, and here comes Nikola Jovic. He gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Nikola Jovic making the first free throw. And Nikola Jovic making both free throws. Alright, and here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Bryce Sensabaugh. Out to Nurkic. Goes Nurkic. Nurkic getting the put back. And here comes Miami now. They give it to Bam. Bam gives it to Jovic. Out to Bam for corner 3. And Bam Adebayo knocks down that corner 3. As the Heat lead by 28 in this one. I'm sorry, the Heat lead by 18, excuse me. Got ahead of myself. And here comes Isaiah Collier. Gives it to Bryce Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh is double teamed. And Miami comes away with a steal, and here comes the fast break. Nice give and go. Almost. Fontecchio almost thought about that basket. Alright, so Miami's slowing down to get everybody back on the same page. Here comes Pelle Larsson. Alright, Pelle Larsson getting fouled. Alright, Jaime Hawkins Jr. is entering the game for Miami, replacing Nikola Jovic. Alright, so Miami will have it side out. Here comes Pelle Larsson. Finds Bam for three. That rims out. And here comes Utah. Gets Miami coming up with that defensive stop, and here comes Drew Smith. Drew Smith finds Bam, finds Fontecchio, finds Hawkins. Pelle Larsson, corner three. And Pelle Larsson knocks down the three for Miami. And here comes Utah. Nurkic backing down Bam. And he misses that one. Rebound by Bam. And here comes Hawkins. Hawkins gives it out to Bam for three. That rims out. Rebound by Utah. And Utah looking to go on a fast break. And Isaiah Collier gets the layup. Alright, here comes Miami. Jaime Hawkins Jr. missing that basket. Rebound by Utah. And that's another basket for Utah. Bryce Sensabaugh will go to the line for the and one. Nice crossover on Fontecchio, and then he gets a foul on Pelle Larsson. And Bryce Sensabaugh knocks down the and one. Here comes Drew Smith. And that's going to prompt a timeout for Miami. So far in this game, we've seen some good things, we've seen some bad things from both teams. But it seems like the momentum is starting to slowly shift towards Utah. But Miami still has a lead, 118 to 102. All right, we are back for the fourth quarter follow-up. Miami had 19 offensive rebounds in the first half. That ties a franchise record for any half in Heat history. Jusuf Nurkic going off with 17 points and 11 assists, having himself a double-double night. Bam Adebayo also having a double-double night as well with 18 points and 11 rebounds. And the duo of Nikola Jovic and Kasper Siakam with 30 points and 8 rebounds total. Not a bad night for Miami. So let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Here comes Bam. Missing the layup, but he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Bam Adebayo out of the line. He makes the first free throw. And Bam makes both free throws. So the Heat are up by 18. Here comes Jusuf Nurkic. Gives it to Walter Clayton Jr. That's a miss. Rebound by Hawkes. He gives it to Bam. Bam going baseline. And he misses a layup. Rebound by Drew Smith. Smith gives it to Fontecchio. Fontecchio loses the ball. Rebound by Utah. Here comes Bryce Sensabaugh. Gives it to Isaiah Collier. And stolen away by Miami. Here comes Drew Smith, and he gets the basket. And here comes Walter Clayton Jr. for Utah. Gives it to Nurkic. Back to Walter Clayton Jr. Bryce Sensabaugh for 3, and that's his first missed 3 of the night. And here comes Bam. Sets his feet for 3. And Bam Adebayo again for 3. Bam right now with 26 points, shooting 40% from 3-point land. Here's Bryce Sensabaugh missing that basket. Rebound by Bam. Alright, Bam gives it to Fontecchio. Fontecchio flies in, and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Alright, and here comes Utah. Isaiah Collier with a lot of speed, and he gets the layup. Collier now with 13 points. And Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio 3. Fontecchio now with 11 points, shooting 3 for 8 from behind the arc. And another dime from Nurkic finding Bryce Sensabaugh. Sensabaugh right now with 23 points in this game. And that's a missed 3 from Pelle Larsson. Ball goes right out of bounds, and it's going to be Utah ball. Simone Fontecchio did not agree with that call, but it'll still be Utah's ball. Isaiah Collier kicking a spill. And that ball rims out. And here comes Here comes Miami. Simone Fontecchio gets the basket, and that was almost unsportsmanlike from Utah for that hard foul. It should have been foul called on Utah for that little exchange. Bryce Sensabaugh, step back three, he misses it. Rebound by Miami. Here comes Hawkins, loses the ball, and here comes ball knocked out of bounds by Miami, preventing that fast break for the Jazz. I'm sorry, that was Pelle Larsson who got bumped. Thought that was Fontecchio. Ball is sailing all over the place for Utah. And a nice block from Miami. Hawkins coming up big with that defensive stop. Here comes Fontecchio. Miami swinging the ball around, and they do not get that three. But they will pick up the foul. Nikola Jovic will go to the line for 3 free throws. Alright, so we got ourselves another official review. They're trying to see if that foul was flagrant or not. Let's see what the officials have to say. So it's going to be 3 free throws for Nikola Jovic. Jusuf Nurkic was right in the airspace of Jovic when he was about to hit that 3. Alright, so Nikola Jovic will go to the line for 3 free throws. Alright, 3 technical free throws, I should say. Nikola Jovic making the first free throw. Nikola Jovic making the second free throw. And he misses the third free throw. Alright, and here comes Drew Smith. Miami has the ball now. Simone Fontecchio finds Jovic for 3. And Nikola Jovic, 3 for Miami. Jovic right now with 23 points, going 50% from 3-point land. Keontae George missing that 3-pointer, but he will go to the line for 3 free throws. That foul is going to be on Drew Smith. Keontae George making the first free throw. Keontae George making his second free throw. Alright, Bam Adebayo and Nikola Jovic will come out of the game for Miami. Kasper Siakam now in the game for the Heat. And Keontae George makes all three free throws. Alright, and here comes... That was an errant pass from Keshad Johnson. Very mistimed throw, and that's going to lead to a Utah Jazz timeout. Miami is running away with this one as they lead 135 to 109. And we are back. Miami leads 135 to 109 in this game. Here comes Nurkic. Here's a Keontae George for three. That rims out. Miami has the ball. And here comes the Heat. Simone Fontecchio, uncontested three. He knocks it down. Simone La Dolce Vita Fontecchio, three from Miami. It looks like it's a... Oh wow. Kasper Siakam Jr. is down, and he is down hard. I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like Kasper Siakam Jr. is hurt. Not sure what's going on. The last thing Miami needs is another injured player on their court, on their hands. This is very concerning right now. I mean, Yako Jr. was having himself a good game. Yako Jr. appears to be fine. Let's see what happened. Looks like he must have taken a nasty bump. Oh! An elbow to the face from Ace Bailey. An elbow to the face from Ace Bailey. Right, Casper Jakajunas is being helped up. It looks like he's hitting. Looks like he is. Yeah, he is leaving the court. Being helped by Norman Powell and Bam Adebayo. Hopefully it's nothing too serious for Jakajunas. But it appears that his night is done. Right. Isaiah Collier goes to the line for 2 free throws for Utah. And Isaiah Collier goes 1 of 2 from the line. Alright, here comes Miami. Drew Smith finds Jovic. Myron Gardner is there for the putback. And Miami now leads by 30. So far, Miami's winning the offensive rebounding game by 21 points. Miami has 26 offensive rebounds. Utah only has 5. And this is Miami's 16th. This is Miami's, I think it's Miami's 8th. They're either the 16th or their 8th game where they have 140 points or more. I mean, the first 37 seasons, they only had 8 140-point games, which is rare. But this season alone, they have 8. So I thought it was 16, but instead it's 8. Utah going 1 of 2 from the line in that last sequence. Right, here come the Heat again. That misses. That's a missed layup. Alright, here comes Utah. Isaiah Collier gets it to Nurkic. Ball goes out of bounds and it will be Heat ball. Alright, here comes Utah after that miss from Miami. Utah missing the layup. Miami comes down with it. Drew Smith got fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Right. Drew Smith making the first free throw. And Drew Smith makes both free throws. Alright, here comes Keontae George. Keontae George guarded by Keshad Johnson. That's a 3. That rims out. Rebound by Myron Gardner. gives it to Jovic, to Drew Smith. Miami passing the ball around. That's a 3 on the way. And that one goes down. Keshad KJ Johnson, 3 for Miami. And here comes Isaiah Collier. He gets fouled and he will go to the line for 2 free throws. Isaiah Collier makes the first free throw. And Isaiah Collier makes both free throws. And I think this one is going to be wrapped up. And foul's going to be on Filipkowski. That will send Keshad Johnson to the line for 2 free throws. Keshad Johnson makes the first free throw. Keshad Johnson makes both free throws. Alright, so Utah will have it side out. Filipkowski knocks down the 3, and that will end the game. Miami comes up big in Salt Lake City with a 147-116 win. Man, oh man, oh man. Yet another bounce back game for Miami, and they were playing all the right notes against Utah, no pun intended. What helped Miami propel in that game was not only their defense and, of course, getting to the free throw line, but the ability to get offensive rebounds and get second chance points to get themselves back on offense. So, Miami definitely needed Miami needed a jolt on the offensive end, and that's what they got. It was through the offensive rebounding that helped them big time. Players like Bam Adebayo, Nikola Jovic, even Norman Powell, Kasper Siakam, hopefully he's fine, and I want to say Jaime Hawkins Jr. came up big for Miami. This was a big game for Miami. That even though that this road trip for them has been on and off with some inconsistencies, this team is trying to find its way. It's just a matter of putting it all together and being more consistent. So this is I would say it's a very competitive, very competitive, very high intense game for Miami. And you can tell they put in the grit for this one, with a lot of physicality involved. And while on the subject of physicality, I do hope that Kasper Siakam Jr. is fine, and that this is not yet another serious injury that's going to put Miami backwards. Because they're already without Davion Mitchell, Kel'el Ware, and Tyler Hero. And there's going to be a lot of big decisions to be made for Miami going forward. For the Miami Heat, Pelle Larsson had 20 points. Andrew Wiggins had 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. Norman Powell had 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. Kasper Ziakajunic had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Nikola Jovic came off the bench with 23.3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, and 1 block. Love that for him. Simone Fontecchio with 14 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists and 2 steals. Drew Smith almost had a double-double with 6 points and 10 rebounds. And of course, Bam Adebayo coming up big with 26 points and 15 rebounds. And for the Utah Jazz, Ace Bailey had 12 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Keontae George with 19 points and 5 assists. Isaiah Collier almost had a double-double with 16 points and 9 assists. Bryce Sensabaugh exploded off the bench with 23 points. And Yusuf Nurkic had a triple-double of 17 points, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. The next time we see the Miami Heat, they'll be in the desert to end their West Coast road trip as they take on the Phoenix Suns. Yep, the next time we see the Miami Heat, they'll be in the desert to take on the Phoenix Suns to end their West Coast road trip. Game starts tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. and you can watch that on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network Sun. Again, Heat Suns tomorrow at 8 p.m. on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network Sun. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and if you wanted to look at the scoreboard or listen to my play-by-play or both, I appreciate it. I still want to thank each and every one of you for being there, for tuning in with me. I just want to say thank you. I love you guys. Take care of one another. Look out for one another. Be kind to one another. Appreciate the little things as well as the big things that people do. Never let people think that you're always thinking about yourself when in reality you're thinking of others as well, and that you do care. And that's the thing we should always show to each and every one of them, each and every person out there, is that we do care and that we do love. Because you never know when that day comes. I'm Deron Butler, reminding you to always run through the paint. Take care. God bless. I love each and every one of you. And as always, go Heat. See you tomorrow.